amazing students. A very warm welcome to all of you. Your Anubha Gaur ma'am, your AG ma'am is back after taking a very short break. Everyone deserves a break. Yeah, people. So this is VIP series with your Anubha Gaur ma'am. Chapter is Atoms and Molecules, chapter number 3, and going to be very important for all the CBSE 9th class students. I think you know it. So are you all ready to have the series with me? And why this is very important, you know it pretty much that this is the series where we discuss most important questions and most important topic of each and every chapter that will help you in your exams, your pre-boards and definitely boards and whatsoever your final exams. So I will suggest that please see this video till the end. Do not forget to like the video, share it among your friends also, because chemistry teaches you that sharing is caring. And if you're new, subscribe to this channel so that you can leave your worry at this platform and can study in a very beautiful manner. Yeah, students. So let's start it without any kind of a delay. And how many of you like Minions? I do like it a lot. So, I try to use this GIF many times. So let's get started. Students. This is question number 1. And question number 1, we'll discuss, all the type of questions, MCQs, 1-liner, 1-marker, 2-marker and 3-marker questions as well. Okay, so how the class will be very much interactive. If I'll see your response in the comment section as well as in the live chat where you can see me. Yeah, people. So the question number 1, atomic radius is measured in nanometer, and you need to tell that what exactly is a nanometer when I want to write it in meter or whatsoever the given options are. First of all, what exactly is atomic radius? You know that my atom is exactly not indivisible, but we can divide our atom, and the size of atom, how we'll be able to get it, that's the distance between the center of the atom to the outermost shell in which electron is there. This is exactly atomic radius. And 1 nanometer, exactly nanometer is the unit that in general we measure the distance. That could be angstrom as well. And 1 nanometer is nothing but, do let me know your responses. 1 nanometer is equal to 10 to the power minus 9 meter. Means that's 10 to the power minus 9th part of that meter. So you can see where exactly it's written. It's written at the option number D. You can see that, and I hope you got it. You can do vice versa thing also. If I want to write 1 meter, I can take it on this side, and that will be 1 upon 10 to the power minus 9 of nanometer. And if you take it on the above side, that will be positive. That means 10 to the power 9 nanometer is equal to 1 meter. You can say that also. So it's not option C, not possible. You see the sign difference. Do remember this. 1 nanometer, it's very small. That's 10 to the power minus 9th part of a meter. That's very simple question. Yes, students. Let's move ahead with the next question. Do let me know in the comment section what exactly is 1 angstrom. Okay, I'll wait for your response. That's also a unit to measure the size. Which organization approves the names of elements all over the world? Write the symbol of gold. So you know that Dalton is one of the scientists who made our life not so very easy by giving the symbol in terms of all the special drawings like this and all. So Berzelius also came and told us that could be a better method by using either a single first letter, a combination of first and second, or a combination of first and third letter. IUPAC came to a conclusion that let's take this and follow that along with some of the Latin names. So IUPAC is that organization, and the full form is International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. The next slide will be the answer slide, so you can download this PDF also, and meanwhile you can revise in that way. Okay, International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. Do let me know how do we represent gold. Nothing but AU. That's AG ma'am, that's AU. Okay, Aurum, that's the Latin name. Yeah, students? Okay, now you got this part also. That's the answer written over there. Let's move to next question. Name the scientist whose experimentation established law of chemical combination. Name the laws also. To be very honest, laws of chemical combination generally have 5 laws. Some is not part of your syllabus. Like one is law of conservation of mass, that's there in your syllabus and you know that. And apart from that, do let me know. Waiting for your response. Be my active students, okay? J science. And one is law of definite proportions. That's two. Or you can also say constant proportion. That's two are there in your syllabus. And apart from that, law of multiple proportion, Gay-Lussac's law, and there is one more called as Avogadro's law. That's not there in your syllabus, but you'll understand that in 11th class. So you know that these laws were given by some of the scientists. To be very honest, law of conservation of mass was given by Antoine Lavoisier. Okay, do you remember that? Antoine Lavoisier. And law of definite proportion was given by Joseph Proust. Yeah, Joseph Proust. Oh, ma'am, that's so easy peasy question. These are the type of questions that can come into exams. Nothing like some hard and difficult things they'll ask you. Yeah? Okay, now you got that part also. So tell me question number 4, and that's define law of constant proportion. The second law that I just told you. So what exactly is law of constant proportion, students? Law of constant proportion tells us whenever you have a chemical substance in which different elements are added, they always be added in a fixed proportion by mass, then only you will get a compound. So in simple word, you will say in a compound, the elements are added in a fixed proportion by mass in some whole number ratio, then only you will get that compound. Now it looks difficult, but how can we make it easy? By explaining you in a proper way. Let me just do that. This is a compound. I hope you'll agree with me. I taught you chapter number 2 is matter round is pure also. What's a compound where elements are going to be added in a fixed proportion of mass and with a fixed number of atoms as well? That's what law of constant proportion. So one hydrogen atom is having 1 unit mass, 1 unified mass. 2 is having 2 unit mass, 2 unified mass. Oxygen is having a mass of 16U, and you know that in simple whole number you'll write it 1:8 because that can be divisible by 2. So I'll write it in whole number. 1:8 is the answer. So if you want H2O, hydrogen and oxygen is always going to combine in 1:8 ratio by mass. Then only you will get the compound. If you'll change the ratio, multiple is possible, but if you change the ratio randomly, then you won't get your H2O. Please do remember that. Okay? If I say 1:10, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah? Let's see question number 5. That is, which postulates of Dalton's atomic theory is the result of the law of conservation of mass and can explain the law of definite proportion, the two laws, which is definitely the topic that we need to discuss as well. We need to discuss in detail what exactly is an atom and law of different chemical combination. Okay. So Dalton is one of the scientists. In 1808, he gave a theory called as Dalton's atomic theory and made our life simple, but he was a very smart scientist. Whatever the theory is known at that time, he just concluded it and told that if you want to know about atoms and molecules, just remember these few points. And this one, the result of the law of conservation of mass, is also included in one of the postulates that says atom is indivisible and cannot be created and nor be destroyed. And that's true also. But yeah, there are so many drawbacks, trust me. Some you will understand in 10th class, some you will understand in higher classes also. So atom is indivisible, and apart from that, atom can neither be created nor be destroyed. That's why, because it's indivisible. And apart from that, if I move to second of the topic, can explain the law of definite proportion. So he also included this point in a substance. Elements are going to add in the simple whole number ratio. The kind of atoms are always going to be some, fixed and going to add in a fixed proportion as well. For the better clarity, I'll show you the answer written also. Look at this. Atom combine in the ratio of small whole number to give you the compounds. And in a compound, the number of atoms that are going to be added is always fixed. Just like in H2O, 2 hydrogen, 1 oxygen, because if you change the ratio, it might be some other substance just like H2O2 hydrogen peroxide. CO, carbon monoxide, CO2, carbon dioxide. So if you change the ratio of number of atoms, you might get a new compound. So that's something you should know. So elements are always going to add in a fixed whole number ratio, and fixed number of atoms are going to be added. That's something you should not forget. Will you forget that? Yeah, memory can be weak, but we know that after 21 days, we generally forget things. But for that, what do you need to do? Revise. Revision is must, my students. And now, before moving ahead, I just want to tell you that how Vedantu platform, that is trying level best to give you quality education and can help to score your, to boost your score with the 100%. Definitely that's possible, because in Vedantu platform, you will be able to have live quizzes, and after each and every completion of topic, we'll ask certain question in quiz format so that you'll actively participate, and we'll get to know whether you get the topic and can revise simultaneously and can take your doubts accordingly. And you'll be able to compete with the students throughout the world. And you know what the best part is? Technology is at the best. If you somehow miss the session, when you see the replay, you can also participate in the quiz and can see your name in the leaderboard. Isn't it great? I do think so. You'll be able to download all the contents with the teacher's feedback so that you can enhance your score and can see where you make mistakes and how to write a proper answer. Doubt solving with the help of master teachers and a team of class teachers totally dedicated to solve your doubts. And you know what? 5,000 plus micro courses. It's like you name it and the course will be there and you'll be able to revise that. And that's included in the same course, free crash courses. The best time, because from this first week of Jan, some of the crash courses are going to start, and that's revision courses, so that definitely that will help you to boost your score by 15-20%, and you should not miss it. Because if I talk about how much that costs you students, it's totally your choice. By the way, there is a link in the description box. When you open it, it's a link for the pro courses. If you apply AGE Pro code, AG Ma'am English Channel Pro course, how that's going to benefit you, because the course which was supposedly for 2,699, you can get it for 2,159, 20% discount. And for 3 months, that might not make sense, might not make that much sense, but yeah, you can consider that, because you will be able to be with Vedantu next year as well, and you'll be able to score, better, but save extra also. It's like 1,800 and something rupees, I guess so. You can just check it, and do not forget to do that, because it's just paying 11 rupees per session for a month and 9 rupees per session for a month, to be very honest, for 3 months. So you can choose accordingly, and that's definitely going to help you. You can see what's important. Okay, so let's move ahead. Now you know about this platform also. Let's have question number 6, which says hydrogen and oxygen combine in the ratio 1:8 by mass to form water. Something ma'am told you. 1 mass of oxygen gas would be required to react with 3 gram of hydrogen. That's like the simplest maths. That's not even chemistry. What do you say? So I'm expecting that this much maths you know. See, you know that to make water, hydrogen and oxygen combine in the ratio 1:8. I'm just telling you in a simple way, then I'll tell you how to write it as well. So that means 1 gram hydrogen react with 8 gram oxygen to give water, 9 gram of water. If I'm taking 3 gram of hydrogen, isn't it like maths? 1:8, so 3 is to what? If you multiply this also by 3, you will get 24 gram of oxygen. Means for 3 gram of hydrogen, you will be needing 24 gram of oxygen. Or we can do it by unitary methods that you use in maths, that 1 gram hydrogen needs 8 gram oxygen. So 3 gram of hydrogen needs 8 divided by 1 into 3, that's 24 gram of oxygen. Isn't it like super easy? What I should say, super easy. Yes, students, you know what? This is very common question of NCERT. Sometimes they can change the figure also, but the type of questions will be same only. So don't panic at all, because we all are here for you. AG ma'am is here for you. When 3 gram of carbon is burnt in 8 gram of oxygen, okay, 3 gram of carbon, 8 gram of oxygen, and they are forming carbon dioxide gas. And you can see that What 11 gram of carbon dioxide gas has formed? That's pretty obvious. What mass of carbon dioxide will be formed when 3 gram of carbon is going to bond with 50 gram of oxygen? So that's kind of a tricky question where we are not using the normal law of conservation of mass, but law of definite proportion also, because you know that I told you, according to law of definite proportion, your elements are always going to add in a fixed proportion, in a simple proportion by mass. And I'll tell you, you know that carbon is having a mass of 12U, oxygen is having a mass 16, 16 into 2, 32U. How you write it in simple whole number? You can divide it by 4 and 3, and that is 8. So this is the simple whole number ratio. Means 3 gram of carbon needs 8 gram of oxygen. That's a simple ratio, and its multiple is also possible. Like 6 gram carbon needs 16 gram of oxygen. So can you see the point? 3 gram of carbon can only going to react with 8 gram of oxygen. Even if you're taking 50 gram, that is not making any sense. It just, this reagent is something that we are having extra. So what you will say, that from the 50 gram, 8 gram of oxygen is consumed to combine with the 3 gram of carbon to give 11 gram carbon dioxide. Now 8 gram is consumed, we are left with 42 gram of oxygen, and that's left unreacted. That will be still there in the reaction mixture, because we have to follow law of conservation of mass. Means whatever the reactant we have taken in very starting, the total mass in the final product, whatever is something we are getting, must be the same. So 3 plus 50, 53, and here 11 gram of CO2 plus 42 gram of oxygen unreacted, and the total is again 53. And you can check that also. It's also easy peasy, nothing like rocket science. So here we are using both the laws, that's important, law of definite proportion and law of constant proportion. Please just remember that ratio part, because that's something very important. Did you get it? Do let me know in the comment section and tell me, ma'am. We are pretty much prepared for exams, and we do trust that we can do it. Yes? Let's have the next question. That's also easy peasy. In a reaction, 5.3 gram of sodium carbonate. See, ma'am can use symbols sometimes, but you can avoid it, because for 9th class, it's not important to write all the symbols and all. So sodium carbonate is reacting with ethanoic acid, and 5.3 gram of the same react with 6 gram of ethanoic acid to produce carbon dioxide. Here I'm using this in a shortcut way. You can always use carbon dioxide water and sodium ethanoate. Okay, ma'am is like playing a trick here, not writing into the whole name symbol. I can do that, the formula writing, but it will be very complicated to see, and I don't want you to feel, oh, I don't want to take science further, what kind of a big formula they are, though that's not that big. Okay, 2.2 gram of CO2, 0.9 gram of water, and 8.2 gram of sodium ethanoate show that these observations are in agreement with the law of conservation of mass. I think that is the most easy question. What do you say? I do think so, because they are telling also that prove that how that's following law of conservation of mass, and which states that in a chemical reaction, the mass of my reactant should be equal to the mass of product. So this is very easy. 5.3 plus 6 gram is equal to 11.3 gram. Now try to add 2.2, 0.9 and 8.2, and that also is going to give you this value, that's 11.3 gram. You'll write this line that the mass of reactant is equal to mass of product, and you show that also, and then this is the way that you'll get the full marks. So please do not miss any of the step, otherwise they can, teacher can cut half mark, maybe 1 mark. Okay, so first you will do the mass of reactant, do the sum. Then for mass of product, you will do the sum. And for the third step, you will say that mass of reactant, mass of product is equal. That's what the law of conservation of mass. Isn't it easy peasy? Yes. So let's see this question also. Give the postulates of Dalton's atomic theory. That's like 5 to 7 postulates. I'll show you. And as I told you, most of the points is something that's already known and he just put into his theory. The very first thing that he said, that atom is indivisible and you cannot divide it. Atom can never be created nor be destroyed in a chemical reaction. So that's something we know, that law of conservation of mass. But you'll make it 2 points. First, atom is extremely small and you cannot divide it. Atom is indivisible. Second, then you can put out the law of conservation of mass point, that atoms can neither be created nor be destroyed in a chemical reaction. And the second point is something that's telling about the isotope and isobar. These are the kind of exceptions, but you can write it properly, that he told that atoms of same elements are exactly same in terms of having same mass, same size, same chemical property. But we know that there is a drawback. Then again, atoms of different element, different mass, different size, different chemical property, and we know that there is a drawback in the same too. Okay, and apart from that, he told about the law of definite proportion also, that atoms are going to combine in some simple whole number ratio to give us compound. And then this is also very much important, almost regarding and related to the same. The relative number and kind of atoms in a given compound are constant. It's like CO2, 1 carbon and 2 oxygen. So the relative number and kind of atoms are always same and in the simple whole number ratio. There is drawback in the same too, by the way. Okay, do let me know some of the drawbacks. I'll wait for your answer. Let's do one more question, please. Homework submission is very much important. So whatsoever questions ma'am is telling you to do, please do it so that we'll see this active participation. Okay, next question is, state the law of conservation of mass. Is this law applicable to the chemical reaction? Elaborate your answer with the help of an example. This is also very easy. We already told the law of conservation of mass, that in a chemical reaction, the mass of the reactant must be equal to the mass of product. The reason is because Lavoisier told us that atoms can neither be created nor be destroyed. If atoms same, then the mass will be same. And yes, we are talking about chemical reactions, so definitely it's applicable to chemical reactions. Yes, you can give any of the example. One we already discussed, you can give some more example. Just remember one very simple example because that's going to help you. So they have taken one particular example where barium chloride and sodium sulfate is reacting. So barium is like, chlorine, I'm bored, I'm going with sulfate. Sodium is like, okay, I'll take chlorine, I'm pretty cool. And you get two new substances and you see that the mass of the reactant and mass of the product is same. You can see there are so many activities in NCERT. You can remember at least one example for the same. So, okay, so you have to write the answer in the 3 steps, whatever I have told you. I hope it's helping you. I hope you will first do, a short revision of the notes that you're having and then attempt these questions, because whatever the VIP series ma'am is going to take with all the sessions, that's definitely going to help you a lot. Trust me for the same. Yeah, students. So I hope you enjoyed this session. Do let me know as well. And to be a part of Vedantu, that's very simple, because less is more. You'll get all the live sessions with quizzes and competition throughout the world, interactive replay, and can see and participate in the quizzes and leaderboard. Can see leaderboard. You will be able to download the content of Vedantu, premium content of Vedantu, with all important questions, doubt solving with master teachers and a team of class teachers, crash courses that are going to start right now. So what you all have to do, there is a link in the description box pinned by Vedantu 910 channel. There is a link, you have to open it, select your grade CBSE 9th, your target CBSE 2020 and apply the code AGEPRO and get 20% discount on MRP for 1 month and some extra 33% discount on 3 months course. And you just have to pay 2159 for a month. That's like 11 rupees per session. And would love to see you in my classes because it's super fun and you'll enjoy it and you'll definitely, can do better than the same. Okay. This is my ID for Instagram. Ma'am is finally on Instagram. chemistry.vedantu_Anubha. And I hope you have already liked the video. If not, let's see, can we achieve a small target of 300 likes? I do believe in the power of you. Do not forget to share it among your friends. And if you're new, subscribe, press the bell icon to get the updates. You can reach out to me. That's my email ID. I'll see you next time. I hope you'll submit your feedback. And thank you so much. Happy learning, my bacha log. Take care. Bye-bye.